I'll stand and say pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Uh-oh.
Bob. Scott.
Yes.
Vanessa. Yeah. Brian.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Need a motion for the approval of last month's board meeting minutes, executive session minutes, finance report, and pay the bills. So moved.
Bob.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Virgil.
Yeah.
Vanessa.
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Fire report, Richard.
We ran a total of 82 calls that last month, and they were all a mixture of EMS calls and public service. We didn't have no structure fires last month. I'm not asking for anything this month, so that's all I have.
That's good. Glad to see you back, Richard.
We do have the new squad in service, so I sent pictures to everybody's phones. If you guys want to see it, we can meet with that station.
What's our plans for the old squad?
I talked to Billy in our department head meeting. We were just gonna keep it in as a reserve to do, like, today there are Dennis's funeral and they took it up to it, or if Butcher or the ambulance service needs to run an errand or something, we can use it. Use it for light towers, full light towers, different calls. Been doing a lot of storm damage here lately. Rather send that out on like power line calls down, stuff like that, instead of sending an engine out unless it's needed. So, just miscellaneous stuff.
It's all up to snuff. I know we obviously got a new one, so.
It's got some issues, but I don't think the issues are gonna stop it from responding to non-life threatening calls. So,
Or be used for a shuttle or.
yep. Somebody needs to go get something from the store or something, run it. So,
Cool.
you ain't gonna get nothing out of it by trading it in, so
No, I agree. I just
run it till it don't run no more.
wondered what our plans were.
Butch?
The ambulance service run total of 98 calls last month. 56 in Tilton, 34 during the daytime, 19 at nighttime. We dropped one, the rest of them were all covered. We had a total of 8 second out calls. We covered all but 3 of those. We went to Oakwood 20 times, Danville and Georgetown 22 times. We covered all those requested. We had a total of 9 transfers. Submitted a quote for Dean's graphics to have the new ambulance wrapped. That quote is in everybody's packet for $6,692. It will not be wrapped until October. That's how big we are. They can't get to it till October.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Bob.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Virgil.
Yeah.
Vanessa.
Yeah.
Brian.
Yes.
Mike.
Along with that unit, came late, was not in the department head meeting, but I went ahead and we put it on there. We're gonna have to buy one. Every unit has to have one per state. IDP's rules and regulations is another stair chair. I have they have 2. Dave and I talked a long time ago about a powered stair chair. And using a stair chair going down the stairs, it's pretty easy to take the patient down the stairs. But when you have to bring them up the stairs, it's worse than lifting a patient, because now you're not just lifting the patient, you're also lifting the patient. So they sent me a quote for a powered one, and I really don't, I mean, it's in your packet, and that's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for the non-powered one, which is a lot less money. Just like the cot, I'll leave it up to the board which version they want to buy, because with the cots, we bought the new cot that is out, because the cot that we have now is going to go by the wayside, so it's a little bit more than what that cot is that we already have. Again, it's in there for you to look at, but I'm asking for the less of the two.
Can we go with the new cot because it was easier to lift or lift assist or something like that too?
No, we went with the new cot because the existing cot's gonna be coming out of.
I thought that there was something on the lift.
Coming out of production. And the features with the new cot, so our cots, you're able to move one end inward so that it shortens your cot to make corners in houses because they don't make houses that an ambulance cot fits in. The new cot, you're able to shorten it even more. You're able to prop the patient's legs up in a bent position and push both ends in, and it gives you a lot more room to take the ambulance cot in through a house around corners and stuff to be able to. Now, we still find that there's houses that we're not gonna be able to still get fully back to where the patient is because of all the turns and twists and the narrow hallways, but it does make it easier to. We don't have any elevators here, but we go to a lot of places in Danville that have elevators. And there are elevators in some of those housing that we go to that you can't get a cot in. So you basically leave your cot at the bottom of the elevator. So you take your stair chair, you go up to the patient, put the patient in the stair chair, bring them back down in the elevator and then put them on the cot. That's why we, I think that we went with that cot. Again, I'm not asking for that much, but sometimes I think it would be nice for us to have at least one of those that can be used whenever, we need it, but, that's not the one I'm submitting for, but that's in there just to show you guys the difference. Their material can explain the use of that, a lot more than what I can explain it to you. So I'm officially, I guess, submitting the $4,000 one.
Any questions?
So the difference between the two is 16,800 and 5,000. So
I didn't hear you, Mike.
I said the difference between the two are 5,000 and 16,800. That's the difference between powered one and non-powered.
We can plan to get that at a later date. I mean. Okay, need a motion for the $4,801.32 stair chair from Stryker.
One second.
Bob, Scott,
Yes.
Virgil,
Yes.
Vanessa, Brian,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
The quotes aren't in here. I gave them to Billy at the department head meeting as far as the equipment for the ambulance. We are going to have to stock the unit. I had given Mike some paperwork. I didn't give you the paperwork. I just gave the number. Okay. I broke the equipment down into two sections, actually two different prices, but that price all comes to one. The reason for the two different ones, because there are a certain amount of equipment from one company that we cannot buy that equipment unless you use a credit card. The other equipment that I give Mike the paperwork to comes from another company that we normally buy everything from. It's just that, as I explained to Mike, that this company and this company may have the same things, but this company is cheaper on some things, and that's why we buy them from here. But this company might be cheaper on other things, and that's why we buy them from this company. Or this one doesn't have it, but this one does. This one don't have it, but this one does. And in the past, we've always just used one company. But as time has went on, since the pandemic, there are companies that are not carrying the same things anymore. So in our department head meeting, it was discussed that we do a couple different orders at a time, because I believe that cost was around $9,000 for all the equipment that needs to go in to the ambulance to be able to stock it so that it's ready to go once it's inspected by the state.
What about a monitor?
I did not include monitor. When Billy took over, we had a meeting, and he asked me what big, are we gonna have to buy an ambulance service? And at that time, we, at some point, will need to start replacing the cardiac monitors. We have one that we do have problems with every once in a while. I know a quick fix for it, as the company that makes it told us how to get by with it. But they said the reason why we're having that problem is because the software is out of date and it's old enough that it probably will not accept, or it is not accepting the new software updates when it updates. But they give me a way around what it's doing so that we can still use it. We bought those refurbished at $20,000 for a brand new one. You're looking at $60,000 for a brand new. We are going to have to, I didn't put it in there because I didn't think about it till just now. We are going to have to buy another AED to put in this unit for the pediatrics anyways. And that's about $2,000 or less, I think, for the AED.
I think personally, with everything on back order nowadays and everything else, it's just order what we need, and is my opinion. Instead of waiting on a couple different orders or whatever, let's have it ready to go. It should be stocked. And once it goes to inspection, it needs to be ready to go, in my opinion.
What my understanding, a lot of this stuff is gonna be supplies.
Yes.
Or more it has to deal with the inspection of the ambulance. The ambulance will be equipped. This is backup supplies is what.
But there are some things that I can take out of stock and put in there, but that's more of your bandages, your
Low cost stuff.
the low cost stuff, yes. The majority of the expenses is of the equipment that we don't have extra of, the hair traction splints, pediatric and adult. The long and short padded boarded splints that we have to have. The things that we don't carry extra of because of the cost of them. And most 100% of that stuff is reusable, where the smaller stuff is what we are going to take out of stock that we'll just put back into stock as we go. Bamboo bags, that's a non-reusable, but I don't keep a lot of those in stock because they're expensive. We don't use, and I would rather have maybe one of each of that in stock because they expired. And as we found out with the epinephrine pens, that we were spending $2,000 every 6 months for adult 3 ambulances, $2,000 for pediatric, each ambulance for 3 ambulances. And then all we do is expire before we use it. So finally, the state said, okay, we're not going to do the EpiPens anymore. You can draw epinephrine up. That lasts long. But there are things that don't do that. They expire, and you just throw it away and buy new.
I guess my point is we're not living paycheck to paycheck, so why don't we just do it and get it done?
That's your guys'
That's
decision.
my point to it.
I say stop completely.
You done with it?
Well, I think we need to put a plan together to start getting those monitors going. And I mean, I think we should look at buying new instead of refurbished. We're trying to run professional service now. I understand back then we were still getting up and going on the volunteer versus but I mean, you just showed the report that ambulance runs nonstop and they drop 1 call in a month. So I think we need to supply our people with the best of the best equipment, 1 for our people, but 2 for the citizens of our town. So
I also worry about the situation. You might know a workaround for that, but what if that workaround doesn't work and you got a patient in there, then all of a sudden liability kicks in.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, because we don't want to be sending 200 joules of electricity through your heart, and it doesn't need to go through, it doesn't need to be done.
Right.
And that's what one of the problems is it's coming up and going into automatic mode. And when you're driving down the road, that monitor will pick up road noise and it will look like your heart needs to be shocked. And if it's in that automatic mode, it's going to shock you. You can't stop it. It's going to shock you whether you're alive or not. Yeah, I guess never went outside that thought process of what if that go around doesn't work. But that's certainly something that, I can work on the next month or so of getting,
Let's do that.
planning out. some prices and that kind of stuff.
Make a motion.
I make a motion to stock the ambulance like it needs to be stocked.
Yeah, as
In my
Butch,
opinion.
as Butch sees fit.
Yes. Scott,
Yes.
Virgil.
Yep.
Vanessa,
Yes.
Brian.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think the last thing. Sorry. I'm so new at this,
You got your skid unit?
All right.
Yeah, man, when he skipped it.
I told Billy, last month he asked me about the skid unit for the UTV, and I was waiting on one other quote that was a cheaper quote. Well, I got that quote. I can see why it's a cheap quote, but it's a very cheap skid unit that will not survive. So I went ahead and submitted and I want to use the money out of our donations from Toyota over the past 2 years to buy this. It's MedLife transport stretcher unit. Goes in the back of UTV. It's in your brochures, pictures of it are. And that quote, $4,275. It's got an 8-week lead time on it. Because when you order that, they make it specific for your UTV.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I was like,
Okay. What do you got?
Because Ryan just said I second, you said second. Bob,
yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Virgil,
Yeah.
Vanessa.
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Yes.
So the 4.4 on your agenda, is that something I need to bring up or is that something somebody else is gonna talk about?
You can bring it up and then we can discuss it, Bush, if you want.
Oh, okay. The couple members of the fire commission and the mayor and myself and the clerks met with Right Stick Reed architects at the looking at the ambulance garage. They basically, when we were there, we asked, where are we at? What do we need to do? And they're basically told us that they could have something drawn up, what it would look like. A couple different scenarios of how to put it together with a living quarters in the bay. Because Billy had brought up some ideas on how we go together. Mike had some ideas, so they're going to draw up something. And I'm guessing we're requesting we have requested a proposal from the Right Stick architect group.
I see something starting, needs, well deserved. Yeah, definitely needed.
I just want to add that they also, I've seen, and I'm not sure if everybody else, that they will assist and help with the bid process
Yeah.
for all the documents that we need to put out and stuff. So that helps me.
It seems very.
Good.
You got anything to add, Mike?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we're just looking for a motion to take it out, let Rice Tech Reed put together a plan, and then bring us back a plan in a couple weeks. So I make the motion to do that.
Wait a second. You want double second that?
Bob,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Virgil,
Yeah.
Vanessa,
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Okay, I've spent enough money for the next couple of months. Hopefully it all comes together, and once we get it stocked, you just gotta wait till October. I'm actually going to reach out to Bo from IDPH. Once it's got the stock in it and before it's wrapped, just to plead our case of getting it inspected, because we can't get the license plates until it's inspected. If we can't get it inspected, even though it's going to be out of service, have the email open to show him or to give him saying this is the date that it's going to be wrapped, so that basically he's done with it. We can send off for the license plates and then just wait till October. Once it's wrapped and we bring it back, it's ready to be used that day. So I'm gonna reach out to him and see if we can't get that done. I mean, before he wouldn't do that, but we'll see.
Public Works, TJ.
The normal trash pickup, mowing, cleaning, maintenance of buildings and restrooms, and helping with the events at Thomas Park, getting items up there to and from. We're abandoning that Linden Street line in the future, so we went ahead and got one of the residents off that line and tapped back into the other sewer. We installed the sewer at 1 South Hodge under a agreement we had previously with that T3. Been spraying the village properties, weed spraying them. Had a couple sinkholes on storm sewers. We got them repaired. Had a sewer call in 813 Ferndale. We ran the line, televised it, come to be the homeowner's problem. Rented a bush hog for a week to take care of all the village properties that was beyond zero turn mowing. Got all that done. And as you guys seen, the KS Energy and Amherst Town Gas been doing the big gas project in the north end. They're going through and televising every line, storm, sanitary. They found a few issues, broken tiles in some of our storm lines that we need to talk about how we want to attack that. Found a broken sanitary line. That's one of our main lines that we need to look into addressing. Basically, they're running our lines, cameraing them. They're going to give us all the footage, documentation when this whole project's done to enter into our Diamond Map system to help upgrade it better. They've been finding some clogs and stuff like that. They call us out to run our Vector to help get the line open and this and that. So that's been going on. They'll be in town to 2026. Every house in Tilton will get a new service line to their gas meter, and all the gas mains get replaced. No one knew about that. Bringing up the Vector truck. It's been used almost daily, helping these guys out on top of our stuff. I was unaware of the Catlin call today. I come back, the truck's gone. I had 2 guys gonna go take it out. It wasn't there. I just asked that I be called, so I know what's going on. I was not told about it, so.
But honestly, I didn't know about it. I got a phone call, condolences for my dad passed away,
Okay.
because he found out when the Vector went out there.
Well, suppose I was called. I have 2 phones. Neither one of them rang. I just like to
I have
be in the loop of everything, which
not disagree with that
me
whatsoever.
and Doug talked about that a little bit too, so.
Let's back that train. I don't even know why we had the agreement with Catlin anymore. They need to be paying to use this Vector because our soon-to-be operator is not even going out there. So what are we getting out of this?
Nothing, and
Besides our fuel being wasted and our manpower for our living.
I mean-
I'd like to say we need to revisit that agreement with Catlin, by the way.
We could revisit it, but it's always been a standard policy for small communities to help each other, but yeah, we can revisit it.
But they're not helping us. Seems like more and more today, we help everybody else around us when we got stuff in our own account.
If I'm mistaken, I thought our employee that's learning how to be an operator was working out of the Catlin plant until that man quit.
He has been out there for almost 2 hours. He wasn't going out there when I was over in the department,
been out there for a while.
3 months. So he's
We can discuss that. As you know, we surplus some items last month. They've all been paid for and picked up. I would like to take some of that money out of the surplus funds that I raised and purchase a brush cutter for our skid steer. It cost us over $1,000 to rent it for a week when we did all the village properties. I can buy one for $7,850. I think it'd be wise to purchase our own and have it, and it'd save money in the long run, especially as we keep growing. We're taking on more properties and things like that. The quotes through Caterpillar for $7,850.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion. Second.
What's the lead time?
You're getting slow there, Verge.
They don't want to stop.
I think I want to say he said a couple weeks if that.
Bob,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Virgil.
Yeah.
Vanessa. Yes. Brian.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Then I also submitted a quote for Supreme Communications for new walkies for us. Me and Scotty talked about it a little bit. They're kind of older walkies, started having some issues with using off the repeater. They're wanting us to try upgrading batteries, upgrading this, upgrading that for them. Cost effective wise, I think it'd be better for us to purchase the new up-to-date walkies. They're smaller, they're more lightweight. And pass the old ones down to the tag group so they can use them on site at their events. But the quote for the new walkies, it's 7 walkies. Base charger to charge all the walkies at once, and clips for them is $3,090.93.
Motion? Need a motion?
I'll make a motion. And that'll also be out of the money for.
This surplus money.
Bob,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes,
Virgil,
Yep.
Vanessa,
we already have stuff on the.
Ryan,
Yes.
Mike.
Bill, Police Department.
Had a fairly busy month, at least we did some overtime. Currently, I didn't get the end. I've got the sheet if you want to pass it around. For the speed grant, we did 60 man hours out there in that time. The officers wrote 91 citations, 26 warnings, a couple of arrests and 7 tows out of it. All that will be funded through IDOT, finishing up the paperwork. I got one more round of forms to fill out and send in, and then that'll be reimbursed. Other than that, the normal business, we ran 449 calls for service, had 9 arrests, 21 PNTs for the month. Issued another roughly 38 citations outside of what they did on the speed grant. And then attached, there's a couple reports on the speed signs that have been out there. 14th Street eastbound, on the 20 days that it's been there, averaging 1,800 vehicles a day, 1,853. Average speed limits run just over 30 mile an hour. And then King Street southbound, we had it there for 20 days. In that time, it was 9,662 vehicles.
I forgot to
Average
do the
about
daily.
24 miles.
I forgot to do the daily average on that. my bad.
And the speeds are averaging about 24 miles overall, nothing fast. And that's it, other than the base issue, I'm assuming it's gonna be.
Is anybody gonna give a report for Chad?
Basically, I cover that with the KS Energy thing. That's about all he had. He's been out of town for 2 days taking class. He just got back in this evening, so he wouldn't have made it here in time.
IT Department.
Got the traffic camera operational at 5th Street Bridge. It's on YouTube. I'm working on IDs for the Public Works right now. I got your guys' IDs out for you. Here's the camera view of 5th Street right now, so you can see it. That it goes straight to YouTube, has the weather up here in the corner, and I can change the ticker down here at the bottom of whatever we need it to say. Right now, I just have it saying when the next board meeting is. Working on getting Public Works their IDs, work with the police on getting their speed signs, getting their data to them. I contacted AT&T about getting internet to the ballpark for the sewer plant and Public Works. They're getting back to me with that kind of stuff. I've been back and forth with them a couple times, so it's not like I'm waiting a lot. And contacted with American Tower about getting the SCADA system for the sewer plant that tells the sewer plant when pumps kick on. So if they need to, the sewer plant needs to ramp itself up, it knows. I've been back and forth with them about what it's going to take for us to get our equipment on the tower. Had 30 tickets this last month, been trying to make sure people get tickets in or putting them in for them, so that way we can keep better track of all that stuff. And I think that's about it.
You gonna give the administrators? I can do it. So village administrator, main thing we got is we got the the enterprise zone, we're trying to get back in it. We're working with an inspection group out of Champaign, which is Farnsworth. Right now, we're still in negotiations. They're supposed to be sending us some guidelines that they'd like for us to work by. The whole idea of the enterprise zone is anybody, new development, as they build, what it'll do is if they partake in the enterprise zone, it'll take the sales tax off all materials bought. But in the process, it also has to go through inspection to make sure it meets state and federal guidelines. We didn't want to go with individual inspectors. What we decided to do was with the memorandum, Danville has the opportunity to come in and question any inspection done. So we're going to hire a professional group to come in here. That way that should alleviate any questions coming out of Danville as to whether or not the inspection was done properly. So that development continue on. And as soon as we come to an agreement with that, we'll get a okay from the board to sign the memorandum with Danville and go into the enterprise zone agreement. And that from that point on, then anybody develops out here, they'll be able to use that. Right now, there's one company waiting for the enterprise zone to go into effect. It's a solar panel field, which is on Tim Busby's property on the very, what would that be, east end of his property down there. And they're waiting for this because 90% of their product is metal panels. So it'll all be tax deductible. That's about all, it appears that's all she had to report on.
I think she wanted us to try to go ahead and approve the enterprise zone memorandum, the MOU.
Okay.
Oh, we did that last week.
She sent the
Last week.
thing to Dave Wester for Culvers.
That's not this.
Hmm.
That's not this.
Okay, I guess what Laura was discussing is would it be all right for you guys, someone to make a motion that once we come to an agreement with Farnsworth Group to go ahead and sign the enterprise zone agreement with Danville?
I thought we voted on that last one.
Can we do that last month?
We did it last month.
I seen the same memorandum was on our agenda last month. That's why.
Well, maybe it was going,
Maybe it's the Farnsworth Group part that she wants to go forward with.
I thought we approved last month to partner. That's why I'm confused.
I can't get out of my stuff or else I'm gonna lose everything.
Why?
We can,
I'm just saying, I thought we did all this. I thought that was the whole purpose last time. We gave the authority to sign the agreement and we partnered with the Farnsworth. Group. Hold on, let me get to that. Too many ordinances. Enterprise zone memorandum of understanding. We approved that last month. It's the same thing.
okay. Well, she had it down here, so.
yeah, I didn't pay attention. My bad. Go.
Sure. Now you brought that up, Virgil. Let me look here. No, oh, we'll do that later. Treasury report. We'll do that down there with the other stuff. About Culver.
Oh,
We got no money?
Yeah,
Oh.
I paid all the bills. You know, they're done spending after.
We're gonna start requiring you to have a 5-minute report.
Thank you.
5-minute report.
Yes.
Can we read this?
I want to hear you talk.
I second
He makes
that.
me read mine. You got to read
Everybody
yours.
else has got to talk. We got to hear you talk.
Okay, the next report will be from the village engineer. Sorry to say, but he's sick. He was up here the other day. He could say 3 words and then lost his voice. Then he'd say 3 more words, lose his voice. Now I called him today and the word out. But what we got here on the notes is that he would, the village engineer will review and approve of IEPA loan paperwork, pay estimates, so on and so forth. Curry pay estimate. Yeah, number 22 is $640,000. $253.60.
Need a motion.
That's already been done.
Motion we pay it.
Now, we already paid it. I signed off on it.
We didn't motion it though.
Okay, we need a motion to pay that.
You don't tell me when you signed it.
Oh,
I need a second.
I just didn't want,
Bob,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Virgil,
Yeah.
Vanessa.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
IEPA loan disbursement request number 22, $671,417.87. Need a motion?
Don't move, might as well get out of here. Maybe let's all go home.
You got the second one. Or- Bob,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Virgil.
Yeah.
Vanessa,
Yes.
Ryan, Mike.
Yes.
I received an email from the engineer on this, but they ran like 300 tons short on completing the project for the asphalt along the edges and the steel coat over the top of it, and need a change order for the street maintenance for $58,920.00 to be able to complete the asphalt work.
I'll make the motion.
Bob,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Virgil,
Yes.
Vanessa,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
We have choices.
On that ordeal, originally it was just kind of a field estimate, and once we got out there and started doing it, Doug can vouch. When they started laying the asphalt, we found out that some roads took a lot more quantity than what was expected, so in turn, where this came into play, he estimated this high, it may not even come to this, so this is just to help the buffer, just in case.
Thank you for your clarification.
Don't tell the contractor that.
I got a question on this number 12 here. Already approved the payment for that.
Had to be on the, had to be board.
Okay.
I mean,
Rock and Roll Band for August 19th, which is this weekend for the cancer concert. I've already approved the payment of it, but I guess they're wanting the village board approval.
how much was it?
5,000.
Did they ever get reimbursed? Did they ever get reimbursed for half of it from Paul?
Did you send him a statement?
How much it cost?
5,000.
Huh?
5,000.
5,000?
Do we not get anything you said?
Not from Paul, no.
I've emailed Tiffany and Cass to send him a statement.
I don't know if she was on.
No sponsorship from anybody or nothing?
Well, Paul's gonna pay for half of it.
Huh?
We have to send Jeannie a email or a statement. She's gonna, or he's gonna pay for half of it.
Jude.
Huh?
Jude.
My suggestion in the future, not just because of this, but just like we do the endless summer ban, is when we start talking about doing it, send it. Like in the summer, for example, is already approved, so it's done, so you're not worried about where it's coming from. Might be an option, just for my suggestion. I'll make a motion.
Second.
Bob,
Yes.
Scott, Virgil,
Yeah.
Vanessa, Ryan,
Yes.
Yes.
Payment of Midwest Asphalt Monthly Agreement, $40,000 a month until the project cost is paid off.
40
Right.
cents for the bridge.
Oh, it's taking them 6 hours.
they're not gonna pay you.
For the bridge.
How about after we
Yeah.
change that agreement?
Yeah, need a motion.
Huh?
Need a motion.
You need one or you got one?
No, need a motion.
Well, the good thing is, we're not keeping money for a while.
I'm getting 3,000 a month. I
Everybody
wouldn't get in a
talking
hurry.
about the damn whisper.
I need a second.
Second.
Need a second.
I got a second now. Bob,
Yes.
Scott, Virgil,
Yes.
Vanessa, Ryan,
No.
Mike.
Yes.
Before I open my mouth on this, I want to make sure. Yeah. I'm gonna lump these next two together. It's a project getting ready to start. Longview Bank has sent us a tip application for Moran Economic. But the same lot that this bank is going on, there's also a restaurant going to be built. So we got two developments coming in on one lot. It'll be the corner of Georgetown Road and
Southgate
Southgate Drive. Be the front section. The bank will be on the corner, the restaurant will be next to it. The restaurant's requesting 150 space for parking. I needed a motion that when to send Longviews to Moran, and when the restaurant sends theirs to us, that we send it to Moran.
Make a motion.
Hold on, I gotta redo this.
Is there a reason they haven't got the application?
Roll.
The developer's Tapman. If anybody wants to know.
Did they secure the land yet?
Hmm.
Have they secured the land yet?
Yes,
I think pretty well.
they came to an agreement on the land.
Why hasn't the restaurant agreement come through yet? Or the application? What's holding them up?
That's a good question, Ryan. Because it's down here, it's Tapman's Restaurant, and it says here, I haven't seen it yet. The only one I knew it was in, but they got a paper here saying that they're it's a $350,000, $3 million project. And they never actually put a number on it. At the present, he's about 75% committed, but will require some TIF assistance. So 75% of 3 million, I guess.
Well, make it anything you want.
Well, no, I'm saying what this letter here says, Paul Tapman.
I mean, the percentage wise, we can. make whatever we want.
Moran will tell us what it's worth. So
That'd be their suggestion.
This is just recommendation or
I think
approval to send to them.
75% fine. 75%.
That's the case, I don't put 100%.
Does, if one or the other falls through, does it cause the other one to fall through? Like if the bank or the restaurant doesn't go through, does it cause?
the
other
bank,
one?
the bank's the one that we were working with over on the lot behind where Culver's is gonna go. Tapman came along and offered the bank frontage. And the bank went with him. The bank's coming one way or the other. If it falls through over there because of that, they'll probably come back and revert back to the property we offered.
Fair enough.
The restaurant's pretty much a go because the location this restaurant's at right now, they do not have enough room. Tapman come down here, obtain the property from Chaplin Development, and it appears to be that they haggled the price. Tapman got him down to where he wanted him. The purchase is gonna happen, the move is gonna happen. Tapman was real sure of it. Well, if they're putting in a TIF, they're not putting it in because they need the property. They got property.
Right, right. No, I just didn't know if one was contingent on the other one. If one falls through, does the other one or?
It was the size of the restaurant, so he offered the bank a Need a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Bob,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Virgil.
Yep.
Vanessa, and
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
cat's out of the tie.
Need a motion to bring
Hold on.
meat.
I should have taken it. All right, now you can move back in. Need a motion to move back into the regular
I'll
session.
make a motion, we go back and say.
Bob,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Virgil,
Yes.
Vanessa,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, now we need to make a motion on supplying a resource officer per the agreement being signed between the village of Tilton and base.
So move.
oh, hold on.
No, okay.
Never mind.
Please, as long as it's not my fault.
It's not, it's not.
Yeah, it's good. Had enough stuff going on.
Yeah, I know. All right, first motion, who was my second?
Right.
Bob,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Virgil,
Yes.
Vanessa.
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Yes.
Caught up now?
yes.
I understand it. We asked for public comment prior to going in executive session, but you came in late. So do you have something you want to bring up?
Yeah, I was, a variance for an addition on my property.
Okay.
I wanted to see want to see the map,
Gotta go to the zoning board.
or do you have?
Well, it'll go to the zoning board, but I think the way, I was talking to Cassidy about this. Did you get the information that was sent to you yet?
No,
It's in the mail. So as soon as you get that, that should answer a lot of your questions because I have to go in front of a different committee.
okay. Is
Okay.
there a building permit?
Yeah, I think she sent you all the information that you'd have to fill out and then turn over to the zoning committee.
Yeah, Tiffany filled it out yesterday.
Okay,
What's
Yeah,
that?
Tiffany sent it to the zoning board and she'll call you when they
Okay.
schedule a meeting.
Okay. I'm done then?
Yeah.
you didn't know it was gonna be that simple, did you?
Well, no, supper wait. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody got anything?
Billy, I got, did they get anywhere with the addresses? I'm trying to get the south end of town back into Tilton.
In zip code.
Yeah, all that stuff taken care of.
I
Post office gave us, they said that they were gonna do it.
Yeah, the
They didn't
school,
give a time frame of when they do.
school bus took my niece all the way out to the east end of Danville, tried dropping her off on Washington. She's kindergarten and she's like, this is not where I live. I'm not getting off the bus. So she was very adamant about it.
I can call, I have the postmaster's phone number, so I can call and see why.
That's an issue.
Our,
Bring up that issue.
mine hasn't been changed either.
Well, the thing of it is, it could be more voice because Danville has a Jefferson Street, they have numbered streets.
Well, here's the other part of it, is
They're
that
changing
all these
lines.
13th, 14th
Yeah.
Street, east or west of Route 1, everybody got a letter stating that they needed to change their address to Tilton.
Mhm.
And so you guys have gotten nothing to change your address to Tilton.
But it's not, you can't even change, like if you go to order something, it automatically changes this to Danville. Like, it will not, it physically will not take Tilton. Like,
I know some houses over there by 13th Street area ain't even in Tilton and they got a letter saying.
Oh, yeah, lots of them. They come in here thinking that they were annexed and we annexed them. and we
My
didn't.
credit card, I don't have a credit card that has a billing zip code 61833.
And my brother had a hard time getting a loan on that last vehicle he just got because he's got 3 different IDs and they all say different addresses. So,
Oh, I heard about that. Someone had a problem with the driver's license, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if they want mail, and the mail shows you as Danville, Illinois, like my driver's license says Danville, Illinois, 61832. And I argued with that lady, your facility's in the town in which I live, and nope, we gotta do what I'm talking about.
But you can't get mail that says Tilton to your house, so.
The post office trying to blame it on junk mail. People, after they start inserting Danville, Illinois, and it overrides the system, but I call BS.
If it happened to his lease, I mean, who else could it happen to?
Yeah.
But 911 and none of that board will like recognize it unless the post office recognizes.
Go ahead and
Yeah, but if they
We
call
get all
911,
that contact.
You might have, Tiff's got a pretty good relationship with that new House of Representative. I mean, we tried with Mary Mellon, but she's no longer around.
well,
Robin Kelly.
that lady's, well, yeah, that's
She might reach out. Yeah, well, we were,
Ryan,
well,
I
remember,
mean, Robin,
we were with, we talked with Mary Mellon, she was trying, then they got moved out of the district. Robin Kelly might be a good resource too, but I can reach back out to those.
And that would be a good
she can
story.
try
to
it,
tell.
but we found out a lot of her connections.
Yeah.
They've left and she's hired new people. But yeah, no. Give it a try.
Because they told us how, that was last year. They told
I
us-
think their biggest problem is they should have worried more about the mail and less about Amazon.
But the problem is, everything resorts back to the UPS's database, like, everything. It doesn't matter. You put your address in and it'll pop up and say, well, we know you put this, but this is actually USPS certified address, and that's what you put. Like, I mean, I get, like, if you would send me a letter and put Tilton, they would deliver. But if you try to do an automated system, they have to put name, it's just.
Kind of like they got a,
Credit card, they'll say that, it's not about that.
Yeah,
huh,
But now it's to the point, like, every legal document I have is Danville, Illinois. Which pisses me off because I don't want to be a Danville, Illinois resident. So,
It's weird, because don't you have to live in Tilton to be a board member.
I know.
yeah,
Richard, on the situation you're talking about with your niece,
Well, it's my niece's daughter.
okay, well, how'd she get on the wrong bus?
She
What?
Southwest put her on the bus and
Kindergartners, teachers. put them on there.
Kindergarten,
They have one bus.
should be putting them on the bus at kindergarten.
They do.
they did.
They put her on the wrong bus?
I guess.
I think,
Because her address.
I think they just have like maybe 1 or 2 buses for kindergarten.
She
I don't think
switched
they're-
her over to be a car rider and they just go out and pick her up every day.
It's
Pre-K has special buses that drop
Pre-K
down to the
is,
house.
My son last year, him and his sister got split up and he ended up clear up on Logan on Chandler Street.
Oh, my God. Right.
So,
well, that whole bus route.
yeah, they,
Yeah, when she called the bus garage, said that the bus driver was a sub and he wasn't sure where to take her.
So he just takes where he wants to.
A lot of times you can't
Just get off my bus so I can count there's no there.
Yeah, but don't the bus have a route? If you're up there and you're in your route, there's something wrong here.
Well, so I think what they do is they get a list of what the children's address is, tells them based on the bus, and it might have been the bus garage saw, what was that, Lawndale? What street was that, you said? Washington? They might have saw Washington and said, oh, that's a Danville address, and threw her on a Danville bus schedule. And that's probably what happened.
But there's a Washington Street there.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. So the bus garage probably screwed that up.
Actually, it's a Danville house number.
Because for what I understand, the teachers just have a list of this child goes on this bus. They don't know their addresses. The bus garage takes care of all that. So the bus garage saw Washington and thought Washington and Danville. And that's probably why. Did they?
We need to call the bus driver to find out what the hell's going on. About our kids are up in Danville.
Like Westville, they do it manually.
Well, I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but they got that, look at the Decatur right now, and they can't even start school yet because they don't even have enough bus drivers and can't get them.
That's probably what happened. The digital system screwed it up.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Bob?
Yes.
Scott?
Yeah.
Virgil?
Yeah.
Vanessa?
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yes.
Yep.